How you doing, YouTube? This is a quick video on coffee maker, Mr. Coffee Barista not making milk or froth in your coffee. And so after a while you might notice that it takes more and more time for this thing to actually put the milk in your coffee. And I would like to show you the possible causes for that. So most of the time, the reason for not producing any milk or producing it very slowly would be right here in this thing, and there's usually milk crud that gets stuck inside of the tubes. There's an excellent video on YouTube already explaining how to clean it, but I'll show you where to look for the crud real quick anyway. So if you take the 3 screws out and then kind of squeeze this thing apart, sometimes like an old credit card works real well for this kind of thing. So once you take it apart, take this thing out. So that's how it looks inside. You take this thing out, and there is a small silicone gasket in here. So you kind of squeeze it from the side. You squeeze it out, and there's small opening over here, and that's where usually milk crud gets stuck, like in the slot down there. So you can take like a paper clip or something, bend it as a hook, and clean it out. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's kind of hard to see in the slides, but there's like a small slot that goes like down there, and you can usually see like a white kind of stuff in there. And usually cleaning it out helps just fine, and once you clean it, just put it back together. And like when you take it apart, taking note how it all goes together. So there's like a round part on the seal, and then opening at the bottom. So the round thing goes round thing over here. The opening goes on the bottom, and this rectangular opening should be on this side. Just put it back together like that. Now, if you did that and it did not help, then there's a good chance there is some build-up in your pressure chamber. And the way we get to the pressure chamber is essentially, first of all, you let your coffee maker sit for about half a day, just to make sure there is no pressure stored inside and it's not hot anymore, because working inside of this thing is extremely dangerous, and if you don't know what you're doing, essentially blow up the machine and injure yourself in the process. So let it sit for about half a day to a day. Then we do the following: take out the reservoir, there should be 2 screws, one over here and one over there. Already took them out, and they are security tri-lobe screws, so you will need like a special bit for a screwdriver, which comes with many bit kits. Like once you take the screws out, there are a few retaining brackets that go around the top of this thing. And I already took it apart, so it's kind of easy for me. But essentially what you do is you take your card and you kind of squeeze and you go around like that, and it should pop right out. And just to show you, there are retaining tabs over here, over here, over here, over here, and over here. So that's the top cover. And the idea is essentially to kind of push that in. So once you take the top cover out, that's what you see inside. And the main fender is right here, it's pressure chamber, and it's held in place by 4 hex nuts. They're number 5 hex nuts. And like once you unscrew them, you should be able to gently take the top out and kind of like swing it to the side. And once you do that, you'll see a bunch of crud inside of this thing. And when you open it up, be ready for some water to come out. Like when you unscrew all 4 bolts, like kind of tilt it forward so the water can drip like in there. But like once you unscrew 4 bolts, there's nothing else held in place. There's just a silicone gasket that goes around. So once you unscrew the 4 bolts, you should be able to like simply take it out. So once you like flip the top, you will see a bunch of crud inside, and you can essentially clean it real well with like Scotch Brite or like an old toothbrush or something like that. You can also unscrew this like 4 smaller bolts, and that will allow you to take the bottom assembly out and clean it out as well, or like you can clean it in place essentially. So once everything is clean, just put it back together. Make sure everything is dry, because you don't really want any of your electric valves to be wet when you put it back together. So essentially put it back together, make sure everything is clean, free of crud. And I torqued the nuts to about 1.5 Newton meters. They don't need to be like super tight, just tight enough. If you make them too tight, you can essentially damage the seal that goes around. So like make sure they just tight enough, but not like super tight if you don't have a torque wrench. And that's pretty much there is to it. And make sure you don't like yank on it too hard, because you can damage the wires and the tubes. So let's just another look inside. We don't really care about anything else, like the valves. You don't really need to touch them. The tubes, I think they're fine. Most of the stuff will be like inside this large aluminum pressure chamber. And that's about it. Thanks.